Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines this morning. IBM and Stellar's XLM cryptocurrency, massive XRP ledger trade volume, and I do mean massive. Motion granted to the SEC for the reconsideration that was filed on the DPP privilege. We will get into that, and we will also have legal analysts chime in. And the Global Blockchain Business Council. We've got that and so much more. And by the way, the latest TA for XRP, you're going to like it where it's going. Let's check it out. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove, and everything that we're talking about here today, make sure you give us a follow. It's $1.652 trillion market cap for crypto. We are up 9.69% collectively for the crypto market cap this morning. Let's take a look right here. $36,500 plus for Bitcoin, $2,400 plus for Ethereum. We see Cardano is coming in at $1.03 this morning. Solana at $92 and change. XRP is 60 cents. Everything climbing back up this morning, or at least trying to. We'll keep an eye on it. And we will hear from technical analyst Dark Defender before we get out of here. I think you're going to like it. 0.5601 on the bottom and 0.6234 on the top. The numbers are, in fact, brought to you by I Trust Capital. Come on in. It is the best crypto IRA, gold, silver IRA on the planet, bar none. And they've just added the ability to get Avalanche. That's right. It's a layer 1 blockchain with high throughput and compatibility with the Ethereum virtual machine. Make sure you check it out. Just recently added to Decentraland as well. Check them out, ladies and gentlemen. Link in the description and comment section there. Take a look right here. What stage do you think we are currently in from ProCoin News here, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think we're in the hope a recovery is possible? Do you think we're in optimism? The rally is real. The belief that the time is fully invested. The thrill, I will buy more on margin. Gotta tell everyone to buy. Euphoria, I'm a genius. We're all going to be rich. Complacency, do you believe that we just need to cool off for the next rally? Anxiety here. Why am I getting margin calls? The dip is taking longer than expected. Denial. My investments are great companies. They will come back. Panic. Still everyone is selling. I need to get out. Anger. And I think you know anger. Depression. My retirement money is lost. How can we pay for all this new stuff? I'm an idiot. Or disbelief. This is a sucker's rally, which brings disbelief back into hope again. So look, if you had to ask me, I think we're somewhere between depression and disbelief kicking in, right? And then hopefully that takes us to a hope and right on up the run here, because truthfully, as far as XRP is concerned, we have not had our bull cycle yet, right? We haven't seen it. It hasn't taken place. Some would point to the $1.92 or whatever we hit months ago, but I don't think so. And truthfully, for me, for this whole entire scenario of where we are in this stage of where we are in our investment and market cycle, I have to say we don't have regulatory clarity. And we're going to talk a bit about what's going on now, and we will get into that. Coinbase looking to bring some clarity to their panel. They hired Thea Knight to be the senior public policy manager, formerly of the SEC. Now take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. These things can be really disturbing here. This is from James K. Filan right here. In a text-only order, Judge Netburn granted in part the SEC's request for the extension of time regarding reconsideration of her DPP ruling. The order provides as follows. The SEC's request is granted in part. The SEC may file any motion for reconsideration by February 17, 2022, and the defendants may file their response by February 25th, 2022. No reply briefs are permitted. Briefs shall be limited to a 10-page double-space, and the publicly filed version should be minimally redacted. The SEC may submit 10 additional documents for in-camera review. Along with its motion, the deadline for either party to file an objection to the District Judge Torres from the court's January 13, 2022 opinion and order is stayed in 14 days from a decision on the motion for reconsideration. Motion granted for the SEC. Now, John Deaton chimes in and says it's hard to spin this favorably. Maybe attorney Jeremy Hogan from Legal Briefs can find the silver lining. The only thing I can think of is maybe Judge suspects that the SEC will not only appeal her decision to Judge Torres, but also to the Second Circuit Court, and she wants to issue a bulletproof decision. So there's the positive glass half full, right? Is that hopefully the judge is going the extra mile here and bending over backwards so that there is really no room for appeal when this thing is done, at least from the SEC side. Jeremy Hogan chimes back and said, there's no silver lining in this ruling granting the SEC's extension of time. Even if the order on the motion for reconsideration is eventually upheld, now discovery won't conclude until March at the earliest. This case is like watching Yoda's death scene over and over and over. Oh, goodness. More delays, right? Jeremy Hogan also adds to this, my instinct is that someone higher up the food chain got involved and instructed the lawyer to fight the DPP, loss harder, or to go scorched earth on the litigation, i.e. delay, increase Ripple's costs, etc. I've seen things like this before. Yes. Stephen Hubert says, I have been wrong with most of my predictions, but I have been right about this one to this day. Ripple will never see those documents. Never. It will be over before that. You know, there is a part of me that does lean into this idea that the SEC is basically doing whatever they can to keep Ripple from seeing what would be these damning documents. How do we know that they're possibly damning documents associated to the email drafts that William Hinman had 63 communications along the way of getting that speech written? And I say here, I am no lawyer, but is it just me, or does the judge's legal decision to insulate the SEC from William Hinman's speech as personal opinion not make sense? Any legal insights appreciated here? Take a listen, because Wheezy right here at Nerd Nation Unbox finds an incredible clip from September 19, 2018, just after the speech that William Hinman gave, and listen to what Jay Clayton, the head of the SEC at the time, says about that speech.
What falls within the ambit of a securities offer and sale is a facts and circumstances analysis, where we use a principles-based framework that has served American companies and investors well for over 80 years. Bill Hinman recently outlined the approach we take to evaluate whether a digital asset is a security, and I encourage you to take a look at Bill's speech, which is available on our website.
He just said, listen.
Bill Hinman recently outlined the approach we take.
Bill Hinman just outlined the approach we take
to evaluate whether a digital asset is a security, and I encourage you to take a look at Bill's speech, which is available on our website.
Now, I tell you, in light of that and many other pieces of video evidence that we have found from many other SEC officials, it's very difficult to understand how the judge has arrived at that decision that William Hinman's opinion was his speech and his speech alone. We understand the SEC had also made William Hinman sign sworn affidavits that it was his personal opinion. Things really are questionable here. And I'm not a lawyer, so Hopefully we get some feedback on that. But here's what we do know, because this is exactly right. I'm not going to read all of this to you so you can breathe a sigh of relief here. But Patrick McHenry, Congressman, says it is critical that we carefully evaluate the current regulatory environment for digital assets like cryptocurrencies and work to provide additional clarity for innovators. These decisions should be made by Congress, not regulators. This is where I come to you and bring in the President's Working Group, which is a group of regulators with the U.S. Treasury and Janet Yellen sitting at the end of the table, who have made the comments clearly already that if Congress doesn't get the job done, they will, because they have the regulatory bodies attached to the Treasury that they can make decisions without Congress's approval in a certain parameter of decision making. So this is really what it is urging here, is that they get this right, and that he even cites the President's Working Group, and to bring in people from that to ask them to basically inform Congress and the different committees so they can make the proper decisions to get legislation passed and in place, right? So let's remember, this is motion from Patrick McHenry from the House, right? So even though he's from the House, let's remember this, right? That the House, you know, introduces bills, the Senate creates law, right? That's what we're talking about here. So we got some motion to go here, but nevertheless, I do believe, as little faith as I have in government, you know what I mean, that Congress could end this very, very quickly and clear this up so American innovation can take off. This is a reminder from an old article, but it's current again because of CoinDesk. So this first came out in 2019. It was updated in 2021, but yet CoinDesk, puts this out today on January 24th this morning. There's a reason for it all, isn't it? Why would they? IBM had signed 6 banks to issue stablecoins and use Stellar's XLM cryptocurrency. And we reported on this back in 2019, and it was, like, again, updated September of last year. But then again, released this morning by CoinDesk. Why? I don't know, but this is what I remind you of here about the news. Say that 4 times fast, or just once correctly. WorldWire platform has payment locations in 72 countries with 48 currencies and 46 banking endpoints. Starting to make sense to me, which include banks and money transmitters where people can send or receive cash, said IBM. Aside from issuing their own tokens, the arrangements opened up the possibility of banks using Lumens, which is XLM Stellar, right? The native token of the Stellar blockchain, which can be used as a bridge currency when it is hard to trade one type of fiat for another. Also, WorldWire could support other cryptos, but is only supporting Lumens for the moment because financial institutions are put off by the volatility of cryptocurrency, Jesse Lund said at the time when he was at IBM. However, going as far as growing a bank-backed stablecoin universe is concerned, Lund has grand vision. He told that as more stablecoins come on board, the whole notion of FX changes over time. We are working very hard to expand the ecosystem of stablecoins that will include many more banks and many more fiat currencies, so digital representation of fiat currencies, and even eventually central banks issue digital currencies. This really was in the early days of what we are actually seeing roll out now. So we know XRP is a bridge currency and XLM is obviously a bridge currency. Now let me step up here because this is the GBBC, the Global Blockchain Business Council. Why is this important, Brad? Well, I'll tell you why. Matter of fact, I'm going to get them to tell you why. Because basically what we're talking about here is a Global Blockchain Business Council, GBBC, is the leading global industry association for blockchain technology ecosystem with more than 350 institutional members and 130 ambassadors from 76 jurisdictions and disciplines. The GBBC is dedicated to furthering adoption of blockchain through engaging regulators, business leaders, global change makers on how to harness this groundbreaking technology to create more secure, equitable, and functional societies. Now, this is the actual conference that was going on here. And I want to play this for you. And what you're going to hear is the question be asked is, how can these things help with blockchain and crypto? And you're going to hear this gentleman right here in the middle of this say, you know, like the Bitcoin, because this lady's going to start off saying, you know, blockchains actually started off getting a bad rap because Bitcoin was the blockchain, and we know that Bitcoin was based on anti-bank, anti-establishment, use for illicit activity, all of those things in the early days of Silk Road, so on and so forth, right? And then you're going to hear Stephen Witt down here from Zang.com, who has decided to build on the XRP ledger and has been chosen by the United Nations Council to power a securities exchange in Africa, as well as to begin to work with other member nations in the 190 member nations of the UN. Come on in. Let's go ahead and play this quick clip right here.
See blockchain empowering green regional development.
So especially what we are doing now with the Interwork Alliance, and that we are basically like building a solution according to the standards set by Interwork, and that we collaborate with each other to set standards and have blockchain technology as like an audit accounting tool. That's the most, blockchain has the most added value as an accounting tool, basically, for us as well. It provides transparency in the market, and that's why we're utilizing that technology in our solutions as well, because it brings transparency to the market, basically.
Ironically, and certainly in some circles, has a huge degree of mistrust as a technology. I mean, I'm still so surprised. Again, COP26, the only mention of blockchain as a innovative solution in sustainability was as, you know, the worst for the environment and the least clean. What are your thoughts on that?
Bitcoin. Yeah.
Why were you surprised?
Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's why we chosen to work build this on the XRP ledger instead. So we looked at the right way to issue and implement the token taxonomy framework on a carbon neutral blockchain. So basically, it all depends on which protocol you prefer, and especially what Sammy was mentioning. Yeah, Bitcoin is a polluter out there, but there are alternatives. So
there you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we decided to build on the XRP ledger. Yeah, because it's carbon neutral. That's what he's talking about. But yet we're being sued by the SEC as an unregistered security. You know, theater, right? This is Shakespeare, ladies and gentlemen. Now, they're spending very real money, and I'm sure that don't feel like theater. But the reality here to me is that this is the auditing, vetting process of a company and the protocol and the native token to the decentralized ledger, which is the XRP ledger, because it, in fact, does what it says it can do. Don't believe it. I think it's still true. Take a look right here, talking about does what it says it can do. Look at this trade volume right here from Big Skinny. Sharing this from XRP charts, I believe it is. Look at this, 99.32% trade volume coming through Kraken, which, by the way, has a banking license. 88 billion. Hundreds, thousands, millions, billions. $88 billion worth of XRP trade volume. Did you catch it? Because I didn't. And if you're wondering, well, what is trade volume usually? Well, take a look at this. Because this is from All Squirrel Nuts right here. And he says this is just from one from about 3 months ago. And the trade volume was 1.5 billion. And it was very, very broken up evenly amongst the different exchanges. What in the world is going on through Kraken that you could see $88 billion worth of XRP trade volume? I don't pretend to know the answer, but I tell you what, I know when I listen to these people from this council tell me that they understand clearly, regardless of what's going on with the SEC lawsuit, it makes me wonder, are we seeing some things happen where people are preparing for some kind of clarity to come at some point, whether it comes from the court case or whether it comes from Congress or the president's working group? Personally, I don't want to see the clarity come from the judge. I mean, with the new technology, I almost look at it, it's like legislating from the bench kind of thing, right? I want to see Congress actually do its job. That's what I'd like to see, right? And set the record straight, and it come from the legislative body as it should, and then everyone can make decisions in the jurisdiction or in a judicial branch the way they need to based on that legislation, right? And regulators can regulate based on that legislation. Just a thought, right? But let's go ahead and take a look at this, because Dark Defender says, where are we going here? And he says XRP targets of $2.64 and $7.24 with the Elliott Wave 3, which must be very close to happening. He says we actualize the support levels that were discussed 1 to 2 months back. We will discuss the resistance levels of $2.64 plus for sure when it happens. He says it will happen very fast. This is inevitable. Then I look at the macro here as a reminder. We see so many people share this kind of price channel of XRP and where we ultimately are headed. And if this is where we are, and if this happens to align or rhyme and repeat in any form, shape, way, or form, this fractal may be just in front of us. Not financial advice from me or anyone else, but I'll take a $2.64 XRP while we're waiting for 400 plus. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Not financial advice at all from me or anyone else. Check out the links in the description box and the comment section. They are products I trust and use each and every day, and they are trusted, vetted links. Be very careful what you click on out here on the interwebs. I'll catch you on the next one.